Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Unite Inside. We are here back again with another video. And as you know, we are doing the self healing course, and this is going to be lesson number 3. And in this lesson, this is going to be not necessarily me teaching you, it is going to be teaching you, of course, but it's also going to be an educational video about something that is extremely important that you need to know if you are on your spiritual journey and you are interested in healing yourself and returning to who you really are, becoming the person that you want to be, and living your best life, being happy, experiencing freedom. And this is going to be about the importance of realizing that we might have experienced so much trauma that can be blocking us from actually becoming this version of ourselves. And all I want to do in this video is express to you how dangerous it can be to overlook the trauma that you went through and think that maybe it isn't responsible for a lot of your problems. And the reason why I'm making this video is because of how many people have been making posts or maybe sometimes even videos about how their trauma made them stronger and how it's good and how, they have experienced abuse, but yet they're disciplined now, and all that stuff that actually kind of like promote abuse and trauma. And I want to be clear in this video about the fact that I'm not trying to say that your trauma didn't give you any benefits at all. Because sometimes when we go through trauma, yes, we are going to experience wisdom and also maybe even strength. And that those are just things that come with the package of trauma. But at the same time, there are so many things that we might be oblivious of and not aware of that are actually making our trauma, that our trauma have made us, go through that we might not even be aware of. Like, for example, mental illnesses, maybe like problems in your life that are such big obstacles. Like, for example, trying to change who you are and your personality because you know, it is like a blockage. It is not really helping you to be the person that you are, but you're not able to change it. You're not able to be someone else. Like, for example, procrastination. Procrastination can be such a like a self-sabotage um, pattern that can make you feel like I can't take action, I can't be who I am, and I just feel like no matter how many times I try to become the person that I want to be, no matter how many times I try to motivate myself, I can never get up and do stuff. I can never, but yeah, there's so many people out there that can just sit down and work for hours and it's not a big deal for them. Like, how? And I'll tell you how. It's because it is related to your trauma. Every single pattern that you have in your personality, in your identity, is actually coming from subconscious beliefs about your life and about yourself. And those subconscious beliefs about your life and about yourself are coming from times in your life where you experience intense experiences that have triggered repeatedly, that have triggered these beliefs. Because as you know, when we experience something over and over, it becomes a belief. We start to believe that this is who we are, especially because, like, for example, imagine that you were a little kid and you kept experiencing being judged and criticized for who you are. And this didn't happen like once or twice, it happened repeatedly because a parent had the pattern of criticizing you. It really also comes from how our parents have patterns in themselves and they kind of, project those on us. Because maybe your parent judges themselves and so they judge you, and then now you judge yourself. And so that's how a pattern is created, and now you feel and you believe that you are not worthy, you are not enough, not good enough, all those beliefs. And if someone has the belief that they don't feel that like they are good enough, and it's so intense, that it's leading them to not believing in their dreams, not believing in who they are, then that can create a pattern of procrastination, because then that pattern is actually serves you and your ego as a protection from um, the pain of failure or the reality that you might actually not be good enough. But you know and that's just I'm just explaining one pattern that someone could find themselves in. But in reality, what I want to talk about is how um how the fact that you have to include yourself in a healing journey. And if you feel like you are experiencing a pattern where you can't change, that I want to tell you, like a pattern like procrastination, I want to tell you that it's not going to change by forcing it to change or by adopting few new habits, because it isn't about the habit. That's not why you have it. It's about there is a reason why you have created it in the first place. And for those patterns, like big patterns that sabotage our lives, um, for them to actually go away, we have to find the root cause, which is a belief that you believe in so deeply. And why? So, why do you believe in it so deeply? If you want to get rid of that pattern, then you have to find a way to go inward. You have to be brave enough to go inward and actually do the inner work that you need to do, that will help you to gain more awareness about this pattern and why you adopted it, how did it happen, who are the people in your life that have made it happen. And this isn't have affected you and kind of, you know, influenced that to happen, because nobody makes things happen in our reality. But when we are little kids, we are easily influenced. And so it's easy to feel not good enough. It's easy to feel like we're not who we really are and that we don't deserve love and all those bad things. And so the problem is that those beliefs happen mostly at such a young age that we don't even remember how it happened. But it happened when we were young and our mind was open for like feedback, because we just came to this world, we just came from source, we have this openness. And then somebody comes and they tell us that we're not good enough. They tell us things that made us feel that we're not good enough. They do stuff that make us feel forgotten about, sad, like we don't deserve love, like we're not lovable, like we're not acceptable. And so those things make us feel shame, guilt, um, disrespected, and maybe even unworthy. And so when that happens, you become someone that holds this identity within yourself that maybe you are not good enough, and then you feel like that's who you are. You see yourself as that. And so the purpose of gaining more awareness about these things is so that you can finally become free from whatever it is that is causing you to feel like you're not able to become the person that you want to be, you know? And that is like a very interesting topic, because a lot of people in this world might have so many patterns that they're engaging in every day, but subconsciously, not really something that they're aware of, because they haven't been practicing self awareness, which is one thing that I want to teach you in this course. Um, you know, it wouldn't be in this lesson, but it will be in the next course. So that's why it's important, because learning how to become aware, going inward, realizing who you really are, becoming aware of every single belief that you have within yourself, even limiting beliefs that you have within yourself. And that comes from developing the muscle of being able to sit with yourself and feel your emotions and journal them and discuss them with yourself. And you open up this communication between you and yourself, as if you are in a relationship with yourself, as if you are a part of yourself that wants to help you to become who you really are. And so you engage with parts of yourself, you engage with who you are in a way that is very deep. And it's almost like you go inward, you really swim into your own emotions and your own beliefs, your own subconscious mind, out of love for yourself, not out of judgment, not out of criticism, not out of a place of wanting to be someone that you're not, or wanting to, because a lot of times people will try to use the excuse of they need to do shadow work or inner work as a way to hurt themselves and hate on themselves more, which is another pattern that someone can have, is that they can engage in self hate patterns where they hate themselves, but it's also for a reason. I actually have made a video about it, which I have kind of explained that a lot of times when someone has self hate, it's only because it is a protective mechanism. Because someone could never hate themselves. They do that because it will help them to get less hate from others. And there are also other reasons why. But, anyways, um, you can watch that video if you want, because that is very important to understand. And you understand a lot about yourself once you decide that you're going to go inward and actually um, do the right exercises within yourself. That's going to help you so much in developing the muscle of being able to be with yourself and to also give yourself everything that you need inward, which means like presence. Your presence is something that you need. um, your love, your validation. Um, you can make parts of you feel heard and seen. You can interact with parts of you the same way that you interact with another person. Just because this is you, it doesn't mean that you have to just feel that you can't interact with it. And also, just because it is you, it doesn't mean that you don't affect yourself. When you hate on yourself, when you don't treat yourself well, when you don't respect your own boundaries, those are all things that you're doing to yourself. And those are all things that you're doing because you have adopted the wrong way of dealing with yourself. Why? Because of trauma. So, in here, I'm just trying to really make you understand how important it is to consider that our trauma, whatever it is, that it might actually help us so much in our life to realize that we should go on a healing journey and start to explore it more, and not just think, okay, this doesn't matter. Okay, I know I went through some weird things in my childhood, but I don't want to go in them. I don't want to like open that, that door. I have forgotten about them and I am better now. It's actually not like that. It doesn't work like that. Everything that you go through scars you, and it affects you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and it's just like it affects your whole energetic system. And you might not think that, you might not believe that, but if you look at your life and then tell me what are the aspects of life that you feel are low, I'm gonna tell you, just this is one exercise that will help you to actually identify that your trauma is affecting your life right now, and you might want to go inward and you might want to go into it if you really want to solve that issue. So I want you to get a pen and a paper, write down your problem right now, whether it's financial, relationships, um, with yourself. Maybe like you have issues with yourself. You don't feel like you're loved, or you feel shame, you are shy, you don't know how to interact with people, whatever it is, anxiety, depression, whatever it is. Write it down. And then, the second thing I want you to do is ask yourself one question, which is, what happened in my childhood or in my life in general that I like, what is it? At what point in your life have you started this pattern that you're going through? At what point in your life have it started? And then ask yourself another question, which is, um, what triggered, what do I think triggered this pattern? If you think, I feel like I had procrastination since I was 5, or since I was really young, like, go into meditation and breathe, get yourself in like a meditative state, and then ask this question for yourself. Ask yourself, and you don't have to like try to get the answer. The answer is just gonna come because your subconscious mind will bring it up. You have to be open for your subconscious mind to bring it up. So be open, don't have any resistance, Close your eyes. No problem. Even if the answer doesn't come, let it go. Keep going with your day, and maybe somewhere in that day or even tomorrow, you will hear the question. You will feel it. It will come up. You will know what it is. So ask yourself, okay, I know when did this pattern start? Started when I was 5. I remember having this pattern since I was 5. What do I think made triggered this pattern to happen? And then the first thing that comes up in your emotions, the first thing that you feel is what it is, it's actually what it is. That's what happens when it comes to intuition, is that a lot of times when we feel something and we're like, okay, this is what it is, a lot of times we doubt it. So don't doubt it. When it comes up and you feel like maybe this is what it is, consider that maybe it is what it is. Unless if it's not. But if it is coming from your mind, like it feels like you are you have thought about it logically and it didn't just come through your emotions, then that means you thought about it and it's probably not it. But if it comes through your emotions, you think, I feel like this is what it is, then that's what it is. Trust yourself. It might come as a memory. You might remember moments of um, going through certain things with your parents or with people around you, and then you might remember when you go so deep into these practices, it becomes so easy for you to get memories so vivid that you might even remember making a decision to go through this certain pattern. I had so many memories of myself when I would do the inner work and when I was doing all the practices that I wanted to do that helped me to actually heal my trauma. Something amazing happened, which was something would come up that would remind me, oh, I remember making a decision. And I remember making it because of how much pain I have experienced because I was not getting what I want. I was not feeling safe. I was not treated that well. And so, because of that, I made this decision. Like, for example, because of that, I made the decision to hate myself. Because of that, I made the decision to start not caring about my own boundaries. Because of that, I decided that I will start to ignore doing the things that I need to do because it helped me to feel more safe. And then you will know that because if you do this practice over and over, if you do it once or twice, it's not going to work because obviously you haven't. I mean, if you do once or twice and it doesn't work, like you don't remember, then you have to do it over and over. Do it every day, or every day that you feel you are in the right state. Okay, and once you do this exercise, it's going to bring up so many memories. And sometimes you might not get memories, but you might get feelings. And those feelings will help you to remember that somehow you did experience something that made you decide to go down this path of this pattern that is not good. And then what's going to be left to do with this pain that is coming up is to explore it more, feel it, journal it, and then come face to face with the part of you that has this consciousness within yourself that wants to keep doing this pattern. And by you doing this, it's called parts work. And it's something that I do where I get a part of myself um, to tell me. I communicate with it through, sometimes I journal this, sometimes I just talk to her in my mind. And so what I do is I close my eyes and then I focus on, I tell myself, like, where do I feel um, the part of me that feels like holding on to this pattern or doing this pattern. And it almost feels like within yourself you have an entity, which is this part of you that has its own beliefs, and the beliefs might be, I'm going to be hurt if I don't continue in this pattern, or I am going to be disrespected, I'm going to be lost, this is the only way. And then ask it, why is this the only way? And then open up for it and wait for it until it tells you why. Don't answer for it, just let it answer itself by realizing that you have parts within yourself that are that hold different beliefs than you, that hold different emotions, and they are your emotions, but like there is a part of you that has the belief of the emotion, because every emotion has is actually a belief, you know. So, and then you will find that part of you and you don't have to identify with it, but what you can do is you can become aware of the fact that, okay, this part of me is clearly um, holding on to this pattern, and talk to it nicely, talk to it with gentleness, talk to it with love, and open up this big conversation with it where you either journal what it's saying, to let it say whatever it wants to say, whatever it feels like this part of you wants to say, let it say it, let it be the one that talks. Like, for example, why do you do this? It's because I want to keep myself safe, or keep you safe. Why do you want to keep me safe? From what do you want to keep me safe? I want to keep you safe from being criticized. Why do you feel the need to keep me safe from being criticized? Because I feel like this creates so much pain and hurt and suffering. Okay, show me where the pain and hurt and suffering, show me this type of pain and suffering. And then open up to feel, what is this type of pain? Like what? And then it's gonna come up, because when you're doing this process with yourself, you need to be in such calmness, and then also focus that things can come up for you, and make sure no one is around you to bother you through this process. And so when you do this, and then it tells you, because I'm afraid of this pain, let yourself feel it, and then it's actually there. Everything that this part of you is afraid of, it's afraid of it because you're still feeling it, it's still inside you. So you can bring it up forward. You do this by realizing that you are able to become that you can become the part of you that is able to hold space for you, the part of you that's able to accept you, the part of you that's able to love you. And that part of you has so much more openness, and has so much more um, tolerance, and also knows how to hold space so good that you don't run away. And that is the opposite of your ego. A lot of times our ego deals with trauma, which I don't want to like demonize the ego, but I'm telling you, when we let the ego control us, or when we let the ego be the one that's in charge of our spiritual journey, our spiritual practice, what happens is that it does it from a place of, we have to like change, you know from a place of that it has this desire that it needs to change. It's not from love, it's from, you know criticism, it's from judgment, it's from the the opposite of acceptance, not accepting you, not thinking that you're worthy of love, just you are, just the way you are. But instead, you have to be someone you're not. You have to be different. You have to please the ego. You have to and that's the part of you that you feel when you feel like disappointed in yourself, when you feel like you have to be different. That's a part of you that's not um patient with you. And it's not, and if you realize it, that's not a part of you that loves you. Like, it almost only loves what you do for it, in a way. And it's because it doesn't have that much of a high vibration. So we want to be in a soul. We want to be connected to our higher self. So everything that we do is backed up by the universe, by the universal energy, which means everything that we do is backed up by love, by unconditional love. We don't do something because we don't explore ourselves and our bodies and our emotions because we want to be a certain way, so that we can look like we're cool, so that we can be better than other people. You know, we do this because that's an ego intention. You know, make sure that your intention is pure. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to heal yourself. It's going to get very frustrating, and it's going to get very upsetting, because your ego is gonna get impatient. you know? Because I want to tell you something. When you approach your healing from love, from openness, from because you want to explore yourself, because you want to get to know who you are, because you want to connect with yourself, because you want to give love to yourself, because you're interested in loving yourself, when you are interested in loving yourself, when that's the reason why you want to explore and you want to do this process of self-love and self-healing, that's how the healing happens. That's how the healing starts to happen so rapidly and so perfectly that emotions will come up and you will feel them, and you will feel like you are releasing so much. You will cry, so many things will happen, and you will heal that part of you. You will feel better. It will feel like there is this intense energy that has just been released from you. That's when we approach the healing from the right way. Okay, so that is how you heal. Okay, and that's just one thing that I want to tell you is not that your ego is bad, it's just that the consciousness of your ego isn't that powerful, isn't that high. And so you want to be you want to be supported by the universe while you're doing this process, because that's how the healing happens. We don't just heal by our own. We heal because our higher self can give us energy, can give us light, can give us love, unconditional love straight through our chakras, and that can assist our healing, and that can bring up more movement of your emotions, more um, let's say integration within yourself. And so at some point you will realize, I'm healing, this is happening, and I don't know how, but it is happening. But all I want to do is I just want to love myself, and I'm not really requiring myself to be anything. Yeah, I'm experiencing so much change within myself, and I am becoming better. And in a way, I do love myself even at my lowest, even when I'm not feeling like myself, even when I'm not really who I am. But through that love, where and how the change happens. Okay? So I love you so much, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I did not mean for this video to be this long, but it's okay. It's actually a lesson, so I did want to share some things that are important. And we're gonna go into lesson number 4 in the next video. Stay tuned for that. And just so you know, these things that I'm telling you about are things that I can also teach you in sessions. If you are interested in working with me, this will be the perfect opportunity, because I am 100% focused on this course right now, which means that this is what I normally am going to be helping my clients with currently. And so this is going to be perfect, and the prices are going to be so suitable. So don't hesitate to let me know, and you can do this through contacting me via Facebook, and I have that in the information section where you can find my Facebook, and then you can just send me a text and let me know that you are interested in joining my program of self-healing. Okay, I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to love yourself.